The next one out of my sort of top 3 AI tools these days, after ChatGPT and Claude, not necessarily in that order, is called Gemini. So Gemini is the AI model from Google, right? And you can use Gemini in several different ways, and it has some capabilities that are relatively unique, right? So you can use like a typical let's say customer-facing version of Gemini at gemini.google.com. If you are a paying subscriber, you will also be able to have it integrated in your Google Docs, your Gmail, some of these other Google things that you may or may not be using. If, of course, you have an Android phone, you'll have it even more. And what sets Gemini apart from the others is the size of what's called its context window, which you can think of as sort of its operating memory. So if you remember, we talked about tokens being roughly a word, while ChatGPT currently can deal with 100,000 and something tokens, and Claude can deal with 200,000 tokens at the same time. Gemini can deal with 1 million tokens, right? So you can use Gemini with very large files. It is very good at the multimodal aspects of it. So for example, for myself, I can easily give Gemini not just an audio recording of a lecture that I have done, but even a video, right? And as you can see, there's so much more data that's in a video than in audio, than in text. And this model is able to work with these very large files. And there's one specific tool that is so important that it needs to be mentioned, that is powered by Gemini, and it is by Google, but it's a standalone tool because Google likes to do it that way, and it's called NotebookLM. And you can find it at notebooklm.google.com, and it is labeled as sort of a research assistant. What makes it unique is that while other AI models typically deal with, let's say, their own information and knowledge that they have in their brain or whatever, right? And information they retrieve from the internet, NotebookLM is created to solely focus on the sources that you give it, right? So again, going back to some use cases for me, I could take, which I've done many times, I can take the transcripts from all my class meetings for a semester, and I can put it into NotebookLM, and within seconds, it has, in text version, everything that was said in my classroom for a full semester. And it has full understanding of this and can make connections, and I can ask questions, right? I can say things like, what did I say in that meeting that was the first one in March, and the topic was the impact of AI on the environment? And they'll say, oh, you were saying these things. It's like, what was that very insightful thing a student said about what would happen when everyone had their own AI-powered robots? And they'll be like, oh, here's the thing, this is what it said, right? And all these things it will get from my own information, if you will, and you can have, even for the free version, put 50 different sources in there. Each one of them can be up to 2,000 pages long if they're text, or 200 megabytes if it's, for example, an audio file or something like that. So we can just deal with an enormous amount of data that currently, at least, none of the other tools are able to work with.